Hi, welcome. My name is Dale McCluskey, and I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about this connection issue that dogs share with us. Just how deep and profound it really is, beyond what most people really get a sense of or really understand based on appearances, and this is where a lot of the misinterpretation of dogs comes from, and even how a dog's mind responds to this relational connection. There's a lot of just misinformation, and it's a lot of half truth in it. But basically, to go deeper into this connection is to really get a sense of just how intuitive dogs are. Even when I help people understand the unspoken language of nature, at the level that dogs really not just are able to get a sense of how you're built through your character, through your personality type, and the interplay of that, how dogs respond through that, but also within how that impacts how a dog's mind reacts within a particular moment, based on where they're at relationally, as it relates to the owner. So when dogs, and this is just so you understand how deep it is, even when dogs come over, or it takes about 10 seconds, or just even a little longer than that, but it's very quickly when dogs come into your space within a certain proximity, which represents more of a personal space for them, that they can get a sense of it. What they sense is not just where your mind's heading, or starting to head within that particular moment, but they get a sense of where it's going to end up for them. Okay, basically where relationally, where you fit in the context of competition for them, because when you enter a dog's zone or dog's area, they don't know if you're there for 5 minutes or 50 years. So what they do is they extend this connections, extend it, and they start to frame it up. And that's why when you see dogs react to people a certain way, what's happening is they're saying, I don't know, Dale, I get a sense of who he is, his character, his personality type. I know that if he remains here, his character and his mind, it represents leadership, and I know that if he remains within this area, we're in competition. So, and then that's the unspoken language that's happening with dogs. So it's very profound and deep. So even when things happen and people are trying to understand why this interplay happened, why a dog reacted the way they did to the person. Even you'll notice, even before the leash starts to move on the dog, that's why, as a trainer, if you take a hold of a dog that is holding a certain level of power relationally, and even before your leash starts to move, the dog starts to frame up through this relational connection part of this. They start to frame you up. You could get bit very quickly before the leash even starts to move, because it's where how you perceived at that relational level. The dog starts to get a sense of that, and then the reaction levels of that as your mind starts to build into a dog is like a storm gathering. They feel that, and you immediately get a high level challenge. And the dog owner will say, well, I've never seen a dog bite anyone before, but if the dog flashed over and bit him, well, because they're being objectified. You understand? The dog has not been directly exposed to that level of challenge or that way, and it's not about physical. And this is the disconnect that people have between this relational connection issue. When we look at physical manifestation of force, they're not. It's deeper than that. Okay, it's who you are. The dog is reacting to. So, there's that interplay going on, and that's why dogs, when they're interacting with certain personality types, the people that they're interacting with may not present any challenge at all to the role. So the dog will function very well. It'd be just like the narcissistic kid functions very well in amongst certain environments because they're getting that narcissistic need met. Okay, so there's an example to follow here to see why things go off the rails with dogs, and just like it does with the selfish kid that starts to disengage away from a certain parent because they start to work around that person. So dogs will work around circumstances based on the relational context. Okay, that's really important to understand here. So even when I'm when I'm talking about this relational connection issue, what I'm doing here is I'm actually controlling. I have the ability to control how I think. So even when I enter into a certain situation, I can tamp it down a little bit, and then start to increase it based on what's going on. That's why when I'm looking at handling certain dogs, I'm encouraging that dog owner for their psychology to start to take hold, where they're going to start to align or go into that authoritative parenting style, but I'm keeping them on script. Okay, and the thing is, that's why at certain levels of emotion, you have to put it in the right context. When people want to pet their dogs, a lot of times what's happening, that person's already being objectified. Okay, the dog's being empowered through that type of interaction, and you have to break that owner out of that. You have to start to get them, on the right relational path, so to speak. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this connection, just to show there's a lot more happening than meets the eye when you look at the reasons why I don't use commands. Okay, and this is the thing about learning. You look at the whole thing about concepts here of this ideology of learning. You have to understand nature at that relational level. Once you understand nature at the relational level, it really what will happen is it totally changes your focus and your approach, and therefore you're going to really cut through it all. You're going to push things right off to the side, and you see a whole different reality, so to speak, through this. But what I'm giving dog owners are the important points. Okay, but as a trainer, this is something that if you're interested in incorporating this into your training methodology at the relational level and really understanding this relational connection issue, it's something that just can't be taught. It almost really requires a type of mentoring process. So I would encourage you to really look at my instructional certification course I offer. It's really something that has to be mentored, because number one, I have to see the the personality type of the trainer student, get them to understand what's happening, get them to get a sense of it, the interplay, get them focused on this model, so that they're able to apply all the different methodologies that align, because it's mind and body, so it all has to align that way. But the ability to control how you think, and so there's a whole bunch of things going on at the same time. So when I'm entering into a situation, there's like 15 things happening, and what I'm doing is I'm setting up a structure of control so that I'm able to encourage and change how that person thinks and get them on the right path. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope this provided a little bit of insight into this relational connection issue. Hope you have a great day.